Did you ever think that UConn would get back to this level under Danny?
I thought
I did not at first.
Yeah, I thought he'd get him there. When they win in the Big East, that's when I felt like, he's just such a relentless worker. He connects well with people, connects well with kids, because, again, he can screw around with them, right? He can coach them hard. He's kind of an old school guy in a new age world that's been able to adapt, because he's kind of got some Izzo and self in him a little bit. When you think of it.
Man, you can coach kids hard as long as you love them up.
And that's what he does.
Right.
That's what he does. He shows them who he is. He screws around with them. That's what Izzo and Self do. He just hasn't been doing it nearly as long as those guys. But I think he's got a lot of that in him. And again, you got the UConn brand, right? The UConn brand, especially because it's in the Northeast, and you don't have to compete with nearly as many programs in the Northeast. Syracuse hasn't been great lately, right? What else do you have that you're fighting if kids want to kind of stay close to home in New York? St. John's has sucked. Maryland hadn't been great. Georgetown sucked. So you kind of went in at the right time over the last couple of years to be able to get some of these big-time players from the Northeast.
Let me ask you this, though, because you just ran through schools that would be primary competition for UConn, and we're talking going forward now. Most of the schools you just mentioned now have brand-new head coaches that have
got a leg up on him, though. What he's got is a ring. Hey, guys, when he goes in,
recently.
Now look at what you can do here at UConn. Look at what we have in terms of a fan base, and they're going to get NIL. That's kind of the last thing for this UConn program, is getting NIL that can be competitive with anybody not in the SEC or, not maybe in the Big 12, some of those Big 12 teams.
So he said in the interview, I honestly don't know if he was joking. You guys tell me. He said, I'm peaking in my 50s right now. God knows I won't be coaching in my 60s.
They say that all the time.
If I set the over-under, Jeff, if I set the over-under with our friends at Bet Rivers on 0.5 more national championships in the future for Danny Hurley at UConn, would you take the over or would you take the under?
I'm going the under, just because, again, the odds say you're winning. I mean, the odds are just not in the favor of you winning multiple national titles. Jim Calhoun did an incredible job, but most, is he going to put himself in the class of Kay and Roy? Maybe, and Self has won too. Maybe he gets there. I just think in the new age college basketball, it's going to be hard to win multiple titles.
I'm going the over. I think they'll get another one.
And that's fair. That's completely fair. And again, I just think.
Oh, you're right. In the odds, I mean, not many people do it twice.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just going. I'm going with the numbers there.
Yeah, and I'm going with feel, which is you're a numbers guy. I'm a feel guy.
I'm actually not a numbers guy at all, but I am here.
Well, here you are. But I have so much faith in how he approaches his players, his intensity, his positive. Here's the thing that gets overlooked, and we get to see it because we're closer to the floor than people that are watching on TV. How positive he is with his guys. And like he's coaching him up and coaching him up. Like he is a lunatic. Let's not his beat over the bush, but beat him down in practice, love him up in the game. But he looks like a lunatic when he's going after referees. However, this guy is constantly on his guy's side. He has their back. Recruits see that. Recruits, you're going to continue to be able to get guys. I think because of how I'm going to be honest with you, Jeff. I was so impressed with how he managed that Miami win.
Yeah.
How he was able to identify which lineups in the game were successful at the end of the first half whenever he had his bench in there for an elongated period of time. In the second half where he mitigated Miami's runs just by slowing the tempo, calling timeout, long-form offense. I thought he was
from one of the best coaches ever.
That's what I'm saying.
His father.
Exactly right. And he mitigated and he game managed that. On top of the fact that I think he's still going to be able to recruit at a high level. Look at their next year's recruiting class, all freshmen coming in.
It's NIL, though. NIL is going to be the game
huge
changer.
Too, of course.
But here's the thing with Dan Hurley. Look at his coaching career at every stop that he's been at. It's always gone up. He's taken something at the bottom and it's gone up. He's never peaked and come back down. So why would we ever think that he's going? Like, at what point does it stop?
I don't think,
look at Rhode Island.
They're not going to fall off. I'm not saying they're going to fall off. I'm just saying it's damn hard to win multiple national titles.
Because it's like, let's be honest, it's kind of fluky to win a national title.
Unless you have.
Wild take.
I mean, they got
there
talent.
was nothing fluky about
No,
this
not
championship.
not this national title, but like
Overall, you
like,
need some
to
luck.
to win 6 games
anything.
in a row
Right,
against really
right.
good teams.
Yeah, like you need to get the opportunity to play 2 West Coast Conference teams and a Mountain
Hey,
West
how
team in the
about- how about
title.
this?
Easy, take
How
it
about-
easy.
How about,
Here-
how about this one? How about this one?
You're not
The-
going to make it through this show.
The average seed total of every national champion since 1985, since they went to a 64-team tournament, the average seed total beaten by the national champion was 39. You know what UConn's seed total wins were?
39.
39.
39.
Well, I was going to say, you talk about luck playing a factor, and it does because you need to have the right matchup and all that stuff. But
Stay healthy. They stayed healthy.
Exactly. And we were talking about not only the future of UConn, but we were talking about the future of San Diego State. Guys, I don't think San Diego State's going anywhere. Simply because of their recent success. Are they going to make it to the national championship game every year?
You know where they might go? The Pac-12.
Well, that's right. They might go to the Pac-12, but you always hope to be in position to get to the national championship game or the Final Four. And the fact that they continue to be that team that's in play every single year, there's going to be more opportunities. What a win for San Diego State to get all the way here. What a win for the Mountain West Conference, who after last year 0-4,
Yeah,
they needed a good showing, and, buddy, they got one.
Today's episode is presented by Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play college basketball's pick'em, where you get real cash prizes simply by picking player stats in this weekend's games. In pick'em, all you do is pick whether a player will go higher or lower in Underdog's projected totals. That's points, rebounds, whatever. If you're like me and you think Marquise Noel is going to go absolutely nuts this weekend, pick higher on his points projection, throw in a couple of other picks, and if you hit them all, you can win 20 times your money on a single game. Underdog's slick mobile app is easy enough that dummies like Jeff Goodman have even figured it out. So go to UnderdogFantasy.com or download the app and use the code FIELD, FIELD, to get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Get in on the madness now.